Hey, Torque here, and in today's video I'm gonna be telling you guys the best spirits that you guys can use for your units. Now obviously you guys know what spirits is. If you guys don't, then basically in this update they added a new thing called spirits, and you could get this from doing portals or even doing Hall of Mirrors or Tower of Eternity. Now what spirits are used for is to basically increase the damage mainly, or just give your units a few different perks. Now this can range from increasing a 20% money farm or increasing the speed and range at the cost of damage. Now some spirits also offer bleed damage, burn damage, and all different kinds of stuff, and that can get pretty confusing. So in this video I'm going to be going through all of them and what spirit you should be using for which unit. And before I start the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm close to 1000 subscribers, and I know for a fact this video alone can get me like 1000 subscribers more, but you guys just don't subscribe. You just watch for free. Like I have 99% people watching without subscribing. Do I look like a clown? And if you guys don't want to subscribe, that's okay, but join my Discord server because there are tons of fun stuff that we do there, from portals all the way to raids or towers, and you can also do trading over there as well. So make sure to join my Discord server. Let's get to 1000 members on Discord as well, and let's stop with the yapping and let's get straight to the video. So basically when you have enough spirits saved up and you're trying to add a good spirit for your unit, for example my muscular sorcerer with Almighty has Divine Spirit. Why did I add Divine Spirit to it? Because it's one of the second best spirit. As you guys can see, inflicts confused on enemies every 30 seconds, causing them to walk backwards. This is actually pretty good in my opinion, because every 30 seconds, let's say one of my units is on cooldown and they need a little head start, then with this spirit the enemies are basically going to start walking backwards. Now that's not really a good spirit for this unit, but the spirit alone is pretty good. But in this video I'm going to be telling you guys how to efficiently use your spirits. Now as you guys can see, this also has Earth Spirit. This isn't really well thought out, because even the Earth Spirit is pretty decent for it. Stuns all the enemies by pinning them to the ground for 4 seconds, has a 30-second cooldown. The Carp has like a 12 or 14-second cooldown, so this is actually going to be pretty useful. That's why this is actually a pretty good spirit for the Carp. Now as you guys can see, there's different kinds of spirits, all the way from golden to true spirit, and true is one of the best spirits because it deals an additional 5% damage to each enemy within its range. It's going to be doing a 5% damage to each enemy, which adds up to a lot, and it can damage up to like 15, I think it is 15 enemies in its range with additional of 5% damage. Now true spirit is obviously one of the best spirits for that reason. Oh my god, this kid only comes when I'm recording. I don't think he's taking me serious. If we start with the worst spirit, which is the golden spirit, this can be used to increase the cash that you get from your money farm units by 20%. This right here is a money farm unit, as well as the one behind it. Now basically what money farm is, that basically if you place them you get cash every single wave, and this spirit is going to increase it by 20%, which is a pretty good buff. So let's say you have a money farm unit like Bloomer, Pink Rockstar, or Demon Mage, then this unit is going to be one of the best units that you guys can get for these three. I don't think there are any more money farm units, but if there are, this is going to be the best spirit for them. Arcane Spirit. When attacking shielded enemies, it ignores the shield and directly damages the health or the armor. So let's say that there's a shield on an enemy, this spirit is going to ignore the shield and just damage them straight to the health. And if their health is gone, the shield does not really matter, just like Fortnite. You guys know what the Fortnite gods have taught us. This is basically all that. Now this spirit is pretty much good for anyone, but I wouldn't recommend this getting on something like a secret, because a secret is going to do more damage as it is. So get this on something like a mythical or like an Almighty mythical. Increases burn damage or bleed damage inflicted to enemies by 50%. Now moves that are like fire or something, like they're visually that looks like fires, they do burn damage or bleed damage. So if you get them on that, then it's going to increase the burn damage by 50%, which is a lot. As an example unit, the new Demon Lord is also a burn damage unit. Galactic Spirit increases units damage and range by 5%, critical chance by 20%, and reduces cooldown by 5%. Now this is actually a full package because you're not losing anything. You're gonna get increased damage, the range is gonna increase by 5%, the critical is also gonna increase, and the cooldown is also gonna decrease by 5%. You can get this on any unit you want, but I would recommend getting this on Carp, Warrior Queen, or units like on the low end, not really secrets, but probably mythical or legendaries. Dog Spirit increases range by 30% and reduces cooldown by 15%. This is actually pretty good since the range does increase and the cooldown also decreases, but the damage also decreases by 30%. Now 30% is a lot and that is unacceptable, so I wouldn't recommend you getting this on something, but in my opinion Carp does have a lot of damage, so this does look good for Carp. Ice Spirit increases or slows or stun, whatever that is, duration on enemies by 30%. So basically it's just going to slow down the enemy by 30%, whatever the speed is, it's going to decrease them. Now this can go with like small units like legendaries or mythicals that you don't use, you just add for placement, since they can slow it down and the others can do the damage. Fire Spirit. Every 6th attack applies a burn, dealing 60% of the unit's damage over 3 seconds. Stacks with other burns. Now this is actually a pretty OP spirit. As you guys can see, after every 6 attacks, it's gonna do 60% more damage on the burn damage. For example, for the Demon Lord, if it does 100 damage on burn, it's gonna increase by 60% for 3 seconds. And it also stacks with the burn that is initially done. Crystal Spirit is basically a really good spirit in my opinion. It increases the damage dealt to bosses by 50%, and I would recommend you getting this on mythicals or secrets since you can instantly kill bosses. Now I'd be getting this on something like a Gojo. Then again, True Spirit is also pretty good for Gojo. Earth Spirit stuns all the enemies by pinning them to the ground for 4 seconds, has a 30-second cooldown. As I said, this is good for Carp or units with high cooldown. Sacred Spirit deals 30% more damage when no other units are within its range. So basically, if you place the unit with this spirit away from the main units, then this is going to deal 30% more damage. In my opinion, this is pretty good. You can put this on Warrior Queen or Muscular and then just place it at the end of the map, so just in case somebody does get left out, this can clear them out. Light Spirit reduces the placement and the upgrade cost of the unit by 15%. This isn't really that OP since most of you guys probably have money farm, and money is not really that much of an issue if you're doing waves. Every 5th attack, the unit enters a frenzy, reducing cooldowns by 35% for 8 seconds, has a 15-second cooldown. Now this is actually OP if you guys have a really good unit, but the cooldown is just trash. I wouldn't recommend specifically going for this, but it is pretty good. Storm Spirit again decreases units cooldown by 25%. This is also pretty OP, and it's pretty obvious what you guys can use this for. Enchanted Spirit has a 10% chance to summon a fallen enemy to fight for you with 25% of its original HP. Now this is basically like Sun Jin Woo. It's gonna spawn one of the enemies, but it's a 10% chance. I think it's somewhat similar to the Sun Jin Woo, but the health is gonna be 25%, so that's the downside. Divine Spirit, already explained this one, and it's good for Carp. True Spirit, the unit deals an additional 5% damage for each enemy within its range, up to a maximum 25% increased damage. Now this was one of the last spirits, and this is one of the best spirits that you guys can get since it is basically a full package. But yes, the spirit is a little hard to get, but it's not impossible. Like I'd say like 60 or 70 spirits, you guys can easily get the True Spirit, and I would recommend getting this on like a secret with Almighty, then it'll be truly worth the thing. Otherwise it's not really that much worth. You guys can still use it, obviously it's still gonna profit you, but it's not gonna be that much profitable. Now that was enough for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and join my Discord server if you want to be part of my future videos.